Okay, so let's see if this works now. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Is it working now?
Hey.
So
is anybody hearing any echoes? Are we good to go? Because we've been dealing with a lot of technical difficulties. It seems to be working. Stream works. Somebody's getting an error. Try and reload the page. Reload the Twitch page, Ryan. It might be okay. Mustache Spider. I like that name. It's a good name. Good strong name. What's good? What's good? Okay. So just let me know if anything is weird about the stream, guys, and I will try and do my best to fix it. But yeah. So here we are. Me, Joel, Peter. We're here to talk to everybody about Embryonic Anomaly. We're here to talk to everybody about all the tours that we did together in the Embryonic Anomaly era, and about the remake, and about recording. We're here to talk about it all. So, let's start with Joel. Let me know the origin story of Joel Omans in Rings of Saturn times.
So, I guess how I came into the fold of the band was Lucas made a Embryonic Anomaly, like, bet you can't play this video. And pretty sure I was, like, the first person to respond to it on YouTube or something like that. And then back in the day when you could actually message more on YouTube and stuff, that's what kind of got me, like, got Lucas's attention from me, like, being able to play the stuff and whatever. So yeah, it was just it all started with Embryonic with me and the band. So
Yeah, I made a really lame I bet you can't play this video. It was terrible quality. I think it's like the first video on the channel, and I was looking for musicians that could play stuff along the lines of what I was writing for Embryonic Anomaly, and Joel absolutely destroyed it. He shredded so hard, so well, that I was like, I need to have him come out, and you were actually willing to jump on a bus and come out and start doing the tour thing, right?
Yeah, jumped on a Greyhound for a good amount of hours, so it was worth it. Yeah.
Do you remember how many hours like it usually is?
Oh man, back when I used to do the Greyhound thing, because I was in Washington going to Bay Area, it would take about, like, I don't remember, it's like 2 days one way. So it'd be one way there and one way back home, so it's a lot of bus hours logged in doing stuff with the band. So
my goodness. Yeah. Peter, let's hear about your origin story with Rings of Saturn. And also, if I remember correctly, I overslept and I left you at the airport. Did that happen? I still feel bad about that.
I think what happened is you overslept. You were supposed to pick up Joel from the bus station.
That's what it was.
and then I think Joel hit me up and was like, "Yo, I can't get in contact with Lucas. I'm at the Greyhound station in like Hayward or something." And so I drove over there and picked him up and brought him back to my parents' house.
Oh yeah, because we're both in California. That's yeah. Okay, my memory is terrible with this stuff, so I apologize. But yeah, so terrible first impression that I had with Joel. I feel like we didn't really get on super good friendly terms for a while after that, and I felt really bad. So now Joel's back in the band, and it's amazing. Do you enjoy being back? Is it fun?
Oh yeah, it's very cool. Especially now, like, the band's had its history. It's gotten its fan base, like, growing more and more over the years. So it's nice to, always look forward to, like, tours we go on and, like, all the, just meeting all the fans and having good times. It's just very smooth, very easygoing. Just get to have a good time every time we do something. So yeah, it's very, very good to be back.
Yeah, and fans ask about you all the time, when you were not in the band, and it's just, everyone's happy to see you back, man. It's really cool. So Peter, tell us about yourself. You've been gone for so long, but it's also so good to have you a part of things now again for the remake. So what's been going on with you?
I'm gonna go take it back. I'm gonna do the origin story first.
Okay.
Because it's fun to look back on.
Yeah.
because it like very well could have just never happened. I got hit up by someone I knew in middle school, and at this point I was like a sophomore in high school, and I didn't really talk to this guy, but he hit me up on AIM and was like, "Yo, you do metal vocals, right?" And I didn't really, but I was like, "Yeah, of course, sure, why not?" And he said, like, "Oh, my cousin's friend or something is like looking for a metal vocalist for his band, and he got me in contact with you, and I went over to your house and I tried out in your garage, and you were like, all right, you're in."
Oh my gosh, I am very much like that. When Ian joined the band, I actually kind of made a lot of people mad because I ended the contest early, and I was like, all right, you're the guy, hey. So I feel like I kind of canceled on a lot of people after I interviewed you as well. I was like, yep, Peter's the guy, he's amazing, and your vocals are incredible, man. It's they sound now we use the original vocal stems for the remake from 10 years ago, and they still hold up to this day as a modern vocal style. They sound incredible. So but yeah, so I don't even remember that day you trying out in my garage, man. I wish my brain was a little bit more active, but my poor neurons are dying. Too much guitar, I don't know. But so what else? What, maybe tell us about some of your favorite parts of, like, well, before we go on, let me read chat a little bit. I think I saw a few questions here. So Love Beer Man, oh, it's good to see you. I remember you from the old streaming days. I hadn't streamed since 2019, so it's good to be back and see all you all. Ovarian Tickler, very nice name. Hello, how are you? Nerf Virgil, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate that. I will do more 9-string guitar content in the future, definitely. I actually have a few videos planned and a new endorsement for Fishman pickups that I'll be announcing. They just got put on my guitar the other day. I'm so excited about that. They're great pickups. So yes, that was a 7-string bass in the music video. I'm gonna make more 7-string bass content as well. I won't be wearing the alien mask though. That thing fogs up and I sweat, and I cannot survive in there for more than like 10 minutes. So all right, that's enough chat for right now. Peter, tell us about your first tours with the band.
It was crazy because I was fresh out of high school. I graduated in June, and then we were on tour in July. And we were touring with bands that, only like a couple months beforehand were like, oh, like those are my favorite bands. I idolized those bands. Like I specifically remember, like our first tour ever was with Scale the Summit. Yeah. And I loved that band when I was in high school. I just bought band. Like a shirt and like a CD from them, and then like a month later it was like, oh, you're going on tour with those guys. So it was like completely surreal at the time, and it was like it felt like, wow, like this is really happening. I can't believe it, especially being so young. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That is awesome. I remember, what was I going to say? That we did like 5 local shows, right? And then we got signed, and then we got like, what was it? Yeah, we got picked up by the label. We went in the contest for Summer Slaughter. We didn't win, but we got like close to winning, like 3rd or 4th. That's why we ended up on that tour with Scale the Summit and Volumes and Conducting from the Grave and Structures. I think, hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody, and us.
The Contortionist.
Oh, and the Contortionist, yes. Yeah. So that was our first tour, Slaughter Survivors tour. And Joel wasn't here for the original writing, and I don't think those first shows either that I'm talking about.
I think I did one.
You did one? Okay.
We did one before the tour. It was my first show. It was with opening up in Oakland at the Metro with Animals as Leaders and Evan Brewer, and I think there's a band called Intronaut on there. So, yeah, we had like one show, Break Me In, before we just hit the road right away. And that was the same thing with Peter. I was 18, fresh out of the same year I graduated too, right out of high school. Just a bunch of dumb kids, thrown out into the world, trying to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew nothing. It was really rough in the beginning, and things moved so fast. Like Peter was saying, we were able to tour with bands that we had previously been just huge fans of, and it was kind of surreal. Really thrown into the thick of it, and I will be the first one to admit that we did not sound very good on our first shows. So.
Oh no!
But I will say that during our first tours, Peter, your stage presence, it lives on legendary to this day, some of the stuff that you did. Just crazy antics. I remember you threw a pumpkin out into the crowd. It was absurd. And a lot of fans do miss that because it's absolutely unpredictable, the things that you did. And yeah. Do you remember that, the pumpkin? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I remember that specific incident. I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I was so just okay, clearly just this kid's 18 and is goofing off,
Yeah.
But the pumpkin thing, so this was around Halloween. Some really kind fan brought a carved pumpkin to the show in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
And gifted it to us. And it was, it was awesome. They did the logo or something into a pumpkin. And it was great. That's so kind and thoughtful. And so anyways, fast forward, I don't know, a couple days or something.
Wasn't it rotting? Didn't we keep it? And it was
we kept it. I think I specifically wanted to keep it because I was well, that's such a nice gesture. We got to keep this pumpkin. This is but we brought it into Canada, which in retrospect was maybe not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. I'm surprised we got it in there. They don't really allow food through the border, from what I know.
I don't know.
I think it's because Peter was driving. He's originally from Canada.
Yeah, maybe that had something to do with it. Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, the show was in Toronto. At this point, the pumpkin was kind of rotting or something, and or at least getting softer, Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was what are we gonna do with this pumpkin? And I don't remember whose idea it was or how this ended up happening, but essentially I offered a free CD to whoever came up on stage and smashed the pumpkin. And some guy did it, and he came up on stage and smashed the pumpkin, and there was bits of pumpkin everywhere. So the pumpkin went flying, and
rotting pumpkin flying everywhere on stage during one of our first shows.
Maybe some people didn't like it because I think a couple pumpkins got thrown back at me. But yeah,
it just turned into a food fight, basically. Yeah.
I just remember that show specifically, the crowd. It wasn't a very dense crowd. There was a lot of space and just kind of small clusters of friends hanging out at the show. And the pumpkin just flew off stage and just went directly into a cluster of people. It's pretty. There is so much space for it to miss somebody, and it just didn't.
That is one of the most dangerous things you could do. We could have gotten a lot of trouble. I think the venue was actually mad that happened because they had to clean it up. But
yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I was inspired by Guar or something,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Making a mess.
Jeez. Oh, look at Mike Caputo. He's in the chat. I hear that you're a member of Rings of Saturn. That's awesome. That happened recently, huh?
Congrats, man.
Congrats. It's good to see you.
Yeah, Mikey.
Let's see. So let's check out a little bit more of chat again. See what's going on with you guys. If you guys have any questions, by the way, feel absolutely free to send them our way.
Throw them at us like a pumpkin.
Oh yeah, throw them like a nice rotting pumpkin, and we will answer only the good ones. By the way, not every one of them. So make it count. Let's see. Hype for the remake. Who were we originally signed to? It was Unique Leader. Yeah, The Contortionists is a great band. Let's see. Oh. Alrighty. Okay. You guys are just loving the stream. There's no real questions yet. What is my preset on the Quad Cortex? It actually hasn't released yet. I don't have mine yet, but I'm really looking forward to using that live. I hear that they're gonna have a lot of cool, like, sort of intelligent harmonizers and what is it? Just regular harmonizers for, like, just chromatic harmonies that we usually do for Rings of Saturn for our signature sound. So I'm excited to get that, make some videos with it. Like I said, I'm going to be making a lot more 9-string content, and Joel is going to be making content with me as well. We just released a playthrough video of Seized and Devoured, which you guys really liked, so I appreciate that. Mark Cooper does our art, and it usually takes him hundreds of hours. No joke, hundreds of hours to make our art for our albums. He's an incredible artist. Did Peter and I meet in high school? We didn't go to the same high school.
No.
We didn't meet before the band, right?
No, we didn't. We lived in adjacent towns, and we went to different high schools, and you were 2 grades above me, and yeah, we did not go to the same high school, but we did live relatively close. 10 minutes away.
Now, this is kind of weird for me to bring up, but I heard that we actually went to the same martial arts studio a long time ago, but we still didn't meet each other. Yeah. I think I recall that. I don't know, I guess because we both did the martial arts when we were... Yeah, when we were kids and stuff. Like, I used to play, like, soccer as a kid, all this weird sort of stuff, you know, that I don't longer do anymore. But did you do any, like, sports or anything as a kid, Joel? I used to do this.
Actually, like, ran track for a couple years throughout school, and for me, I was good with doing that. I really wasn't too much into sports. The only extracurricular kind of like classes I took outside of the required were like some jazz music classes. So not too much into sports, but I was a pretty fast runner. I had a good mile time. I'll say that.
What was your mile time?
Yeah,
my mile time was it was like a little bit over 6 minutes, like 6:0 something, like, you know what I mean. So I was pretty fast in my youth.
That's good.
Not quite anymore, but yeah.
I just run all my miles at half speed, you know, so I'm not that fast.
Good. So like 12 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be me. So were there any band names before Rings of Saturn? Actually, no. There wasn't. Oh, actually,
there was one.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do remember discussing that a name for the band would be Bloodborne, and this was before the game came out, and I was thinking about that, and that's interesting because I have a Dark Souls tattoo. It's part of the Souls franchise sort of thing, so I was thinking of that in my head, but no, like, I think Rings of Saturn was... I don't know, Peter. Like, is the name appropriate? What are you?
Oh, it's just really corny.
Okay.
Do you want to hear it?
I mean, I do, as long as it's appropriate.
Okay. Based on my memory, a name that was thrown out there was strapped to a railroad. like job for a cowboy style, like desert style or something, you know? Like,
oh man,
like Wild West, you know?
Yeah, that is a. Can you imagine listening to Rings of Saturn, but it's just called Strapped to a Railroad, and we sound like we do? What in the world? Oh wow! I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get a Strapped to the Railroad tattoo. That's my next one. I gotta have it. Gotta represent what could have been. Okay, let's see some more questions. These are fun. Is Peter back only for the music video? For now, yes. I mean, Peter has his own secretive bands that he won't tell me about, so, you know. You'll probably see him on more of his own material there. But I'm really glad that you guys like the remake. He's not technically back only for the music video. He's on the entire remake album, so you'll get to hear him a lot there. But it is his stems from 10 years ago, which, like I said, still hold up to this day. They're very, very good. And when you recorded those, like, how old were you, by the way?
The vocals, 16.
16.
Yeah, I was 16.
Wow. So yeah, Peter's
I don't know.
Peter's flexing on all of us. 10 years later, we're listening to him when he was 16 years old. That's incredible. When I recorded Embryonic Anomaly, I was a dumb kid. I didn't know what a DAW was. I didn't know what an interface was. I actually went to a studio and I recorded the guitars, and I was like 19, I want to say. Maybe 18. I was getting in there with some really, really bad sounding demos. I think Joel remembers those demos.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Those.
I think there was like on the MySpace, it was like an abducted demo with like the old logo before the actual logo.
Yeah,
was a thing.
We had an old logo, and it was like, it wasn't the planet. It was like typed out, and it had.
It was
like,
in red color. It's very readable font.
Yeah, for the MySpace days, and I think the I had like a little Saturn for the Rings of. No. Rings of Saturn. Is there an I in Rings of Saturn? Yeah, in Rings. Yeah. Apparently, I just never went to school. I don't know how to read or spell. So, so let's see. How did y'all meet? Well, in the beginning of the stream, Joel kind of explained that I did a video, and he responded to the video. He absolutely shredded it, and then we met up that way. Peter, how you said a friend told you about the band was auditioning, right?
Yeah, he was like a guy I went to school with. We weren't close really, but like he had my screen name on AIM and he hit me up.
AIM in MySpace. Yeah. Woo! Those are
and he basically told me his friend's cousin's boyfriend's sister's friend was looking for a metal vocalist.
Yeah.
And that was you.
Oh. Well, there you go. There you go.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Word of mouth.
That's the true metal underground way. It has to be word of mouth. Metal people, they don't like technology at all.
If you join the band over the internet, you're not a real member.
Yep.
You're not.
you're
just not
band.
true enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the only real members of the band joined word of mouth.
It's the only way. So, Peter, I know a lot of people, I don't think it's a question in the chat yet, but alien sightings. I know both of you have had alien sightings, but I have not. And one of the alien sightings I want to start with is Peter's alien sighting when we were on tour, and I was asleep in that huge green light. Talk about that for me.
All right. So this was after playing in Winnipeg. So we had crossed the border back into the U.S. and we were in the middle of nowhere in North Dakota. And like actual middle of nowhere. There's nothing anywhere for like miles.
Yeah.
And I'm driving the van, and everyone else is asleep. And all of a sudden, there's just like this green streaking flash that like right in front of me.
Oh, I remember that. I was in the back when I heard you yell. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was so surreal and like bizarre and otherworldly that I was like freaking out about it, Yeah. And I guess I woke everyone up probably.
I remember how loud you were distinctly.
Yeah.
You were just like, oh, did you see that? Like, oh my God. And I woke up and I thought we were going to get in a car accident or something like that, or a van accident, but no. I saw the like green light, like, because we were in the back. We all used to have to lay down like sardines.
Saw it just out the window, like the back window. We saw a glimpse of it like passing by. Yeah,
I saw like a green glow as I was waking up, but like I didn't get to actually see it. But yeah, it's wasn't that on our first tour too?
That was the second tour.
The Decapitated.
Yeah.
Decrepit Birth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, there was in addition to there being nothing around us, just like fields, there was also no other cars in either direction that I could
it's
see.
just
And
desolate.
it was like 3 a.m, like it was really bizarre.
The aliens knew. They knew about our band. Yeah.
Gave us a sign.
I guess so. That's the first and only time for me.
Gotcha.
Never saw anything like that ever again.
Man, Joel, do you have an alien sighting?
Not an actual alien being, but I have seen UFOs. I've had like 2 sightings, separate from the one we're talking about there. Washington, like, growing up in high school, friends and I would like going like on hiking trails. There's a lot of woodsy areas like around where we lived. So there's like 2 sightings where we're just hanging out on the trails at nighttime on top of a hill. It's just same area had 2 sightings. It was just stuff that we couldn't easily dismiss as like an airplane or something. It was like, it was just weird, and it just hovered in the air. One of them particularly, it was more like triangular. I think it was like a triangle shape that kind of just like we saw it on the horizon, kind of just snuck up close to us, and it's kind of cloudy. It made kind of like a weird like mechanical like washing machine like kind of noise like up in the sky. It was just I've never experienced anything like that, so that's why I was like, I consider that like paranormal, because I can't explain it. It was just like bizarre. That's all my feeble mind could comprehend it as. So.
Oh my goodness, that's actually really funny. Mike just pointed out, I wish I could see, well, first of all, I wish I could see an alien or a flying washing machine, either way. So currently, I haven't been on Twitch in a long time, and I currently have the Twitch category set to Super Smash Brothers. So we're streaming this in like the Super Smash Brothers page, I believe. So you're not supposed to do that. Let me actually get in here and change that. But while I'm doing that, why don't you guys talk more about like, how you were recording, more stuff from the tours, just stuff like that. Or I feel like, there's a question of what your guys' main influences are as far as like, music goes, maybe outside of music. But I got to figure out how to do this, because I haven't done this in years. So
Okay, sounds good.
Joel, you start.
Okay, I guess for like influences, back in those days, right before I joined Rings, I was definitely more into metal and stuff in high school. So, bands like After the Burial, Beneath the Massacre, Faceless, stuff like that. And nowadays, I actually get more influence from like a lot more like electronic artists, like Aphex Twin and stuff like that. So, my influences have definitely changed time.
What about you, Peter?
It's been a long, winding road. Back in those days, it started off with anything I could find that was remotely heavy, including like lots of really like Warped Tour friendly style bands and all that kind of stuff when I was like 13, 14. Plus like all the like OG punk and metal bands from the 80s. But then the thing that really like captivated me and that like came out the most vocally probably was I got really into like the early death metal, all the like early 90s stuff, and that just became like my favorite style in those days, and that's probably where you hear all those lows and all that. And I don't know. So that's a really quick summary of influences.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's interesting just because you have like a very deathcore style of stream. Deathcore style of stream. I loved all those OG deathcore bands too, like Job for a Cowboy, Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, all those bands. I loved all of that when I was like in high school, 14, 15 years old. Yeah, and then but you also have like a more death metal like low, which is really a nice combination. You know, it keeps it true for the metal elitists out there, and it also gives it a nice little spice for the core kids. So it's a good mix. Good mix. Let me see if I actually did this right now. How do I mod Mike? Maybe he could do it for me. Mike Caputo. How do I add you as a mod?
Mikey.
Mike could help me.
Yes.
Mod Mike Caputo. Drums. Mike Caputo. Drums.
Here's a question for Peter.
Ooh. What do we
This guy's asking, where did he get the idea for the Polish lyrics in Abducted?
Oh yeah. You speak Polish and
Yes.
what do the Polish lyrics like curse or anything?
No.
Okay, you can tell them what they mean as well. That's a great question. Whoever asked.
Those come from. I don't know how that ended up. I don't know whose idea that was, but I speak Polish. My parents are Polish immigrants, and I grew up speaking Polish before I spoke English. So I don't know. Someone thought Polish would sound cool, and I was like, all right, let's try it out, and that's it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The origin is simply just I am Polish. And wanted to do some Polish lyrics. I don't remember the lyrics. What are they?
You don't remember the lyrics?
I mean, listen, this was like a really long time ago. 2009, right?
Yeah.
2010, maybe. So I don't know. I can't tell you what they are because I don't remember. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, sometimes you just forget the Polish lyrics. It's okay. I thought it was something about like the sun rises or something like that. Was that something?
It sounds familiar. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something about the sun. You know, space. The sun's in space. You know.
Yeah. That's what it was. So. Somebody says, you guys made the Season Devoured 2.0 with Ian. Did you ever plan to use the whole album with him, but decided to use Peter instead? Well, we tried out Season Devoured 2.0, like, I don't know, like 6 years ago or something like that. And I thought it sounded good, but I thought to myself, like, it would be really cool to actually, like, what is it, like keep the mood of the entire album, like keep it how it was. And I feel like a lot of like metal fans really resonate with that. That's why I didn't re-record the guitars. I did re-record parts of the Invasion solo, by the way, because when I was a kid my vibrato was a little out of hand, and it went outside of the key, and I didn't like that. I also added some harmonies to that Invasion solo. I think it sounds way better, but I just really wanted to keep the mood as far as all the original guitars, all the original bass, Peter's original vocals, and I thought that it like did the album its justice. I thought it would be too changed if we used our current vocalist. So I think people resonated with that. And if people do want to listen to Ian on an embryonic track, we do have the Season Devoured 2.0, and I think he did amazing on that. So we got the biggest influences. We got, let's see. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, Peter. They're asking why you left the band. That's a good one, right?
Yeah. Long story short, I went to college, and you can't tour full time if you're in college. So, that's. I actually wait. Really quick, I had to drop out of college to do one of the tours, and then I had to reapply and get back in afterwards. So I was for a very short while dropped out from school to go on tour, which really upset my parents.
I bet. Parents, like even my parents, they were not stoked about me dropping out of college and touring. I did the same thing. So yeah. So tell me more. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that was it pretty much. I also was like, I don't know, touring was a lot, and it was like stressful and not something I really saw myself doing full time. Especially like it's like 18 years old and just like super just young and like I don't know, this is a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, touring definitely, it has its moments of being cool and its moments of being really not cool. So
really not cool, like sleeping in Walmart parking lots and laying down like sardines shoulder to shoulder in the back of the van trying to sleep and driving shifts and
we used to sleep on top of our merch bags because we had to fit everything in the van. So we'd like put them on the back, like where on like the back bed thing. And we just, so it's like we were.
I think that's what we did to try to save on not having to use a trailer.
Exactly.
Man, we didn't use a trailer and we had to really rough it in there, and it was pretty brutal. It's pretty dangerous too, actually. I don't recommend anybody tour without a trailer and fit everyone in the back on the merch. I remember it was like loose at one point, like we took it out of the bags too, and we were just laying on the bare shirts. Oh my god!
And then there was the infamous merch bin on the roof. Incident.
Yeah, I still have that video. Yeah, okay.
Or no, the CDs though that hit the highway.
Oh, there's so many good stories.
Can I tell this story? I want to tell this story.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so this is we're setting out for our second ever tour, and we don't have a trailer. We have the merch in the back, but we have these big bins, and they can't fit in the van, so Lucas was like, all right, we'll just strap them to the top. It'll be fine. They'll just be on top of the van. And we had a bunch of CDs in there, but they were relatively empty. And I'm driving, so we set out, and we're like 20 minutes out from where we left. And like I look in the rear view or in the side mirror or whatever, and I just see the bins like behind us like exploded on the freeway, just like they just flew off the top and like instantly just. The CDs scattered all over the freeway. This was like within 20 minutes of us leaving. And we were driving to New York, so we had like a cross country drive, and this happened like instantly as soon as we left.
Oh my goodness! And who was with us? Wasn't Jeff Huell with us? I remember.
Yeah, Jeff was with us, and Jeff was like way older than us, basically babysitting us. We were like 18, and he was like 30 or something. So he was like, what have I gotten myself into? Like, who are these kids? I'm gonna have to spend the next month with them. I'm so sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, if Jeff ever sees this, we apologize. Like,
we were really dumb.
Jeff was number one.
He kept it together very well.
He really held us together.
He did. When we got like, what is it, like up in the snow, you know what I mean? And like we didn't have 4-wheel drive on the van, and we had to install chains, and he's just like, why am I the one doing this? And like none of us knew
the only one who knows how to put chains on the wheel.
Exactly.
Sorry.
But you know what? He's in a large band, living it up. You know, he's
infinite love
living
to
the
Jeff.
dream.
The man.
Infinite love to Jeff. Yes. I remember him saying the CDs exploding off the top of the van. Like people were honking at us, and he was like, "Yeah, they were sold to Roadside Records," and I thought that was hilarious because, yeah. Whew. But what was the other? There was another story. Oh yeah, the merch bin. How many flights of stairs up was that, Joel? That was insanity.
I think that was like 7 flights, something like that.
7 flights, yeah, and like,
it made the most obnoxious noise when it hit. It had just plastic bin pieces shattering everywhere, and just like cloth with all these black T-shirts just spreading out all over the floor.
I remember. Yeah, I was like blocking the door so no one would come in, and then you just dropped the merch bin from like just outer space basically, and it just came barreling down like 7 flights of stairs, exploding like plastics just. And I almost like passed out laughing. It was so funny. The video is actually still on my YouTube channel. So. Man, if you guys get a chance, it's one of my first videos, and then I put my laugh in slow motion because I have this really weird cackle when I laugh, and yeah, so I thought it was funny. But in any case, yeah. So let's get back to Sammy. Thanks for the subscription with Prime. Oh my. Ooh. Sammy actually mixed and mastered the remake album, and I will say, if you guys have seen my post online, there is no argument about it. Sammy's mix is the best mix. So yeah, any of you mix connoisseurs out there, you that listen to it on your phone, you're wrong if you say
your ears are incorrect.
Your ears are actually incorrect. It is not an opinion. It's an unbiased fact. So let's see here. Oh yeah, I fixed the category, so we're no longer in Super Smash Brothers. People were asking a bunch of Super Smash Brothers questions, and I was like, why is this happening? So they asked who we main in Super Smash Brothers. Peter, you don't play too many games. Do you play Super Smash Brothers?
I did when I was a kid, for sure. I played the N64 and the GameCube. And I don't know what status these characters have, so maybe they're cool or maybe they're not. But I really liked Fox on the N64.
Oh yeah.
And then I really liked Falco on the GameCube.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were my two.
Ooh,
I mean, they're basically the same character, right? Like, but you know,
similar, very, very similar. Yeah. Those are good characters. What about you, Joel? I feel like
I'm always Kirby, even when he gets, even when they like switch him up on the other games and stuff. Like, I'm just terrible with killing myself and falling off the ledges. So that recovery on Kirby and just being so familiar with his moveset that barely really changes over time. I stuck with my man's Kirby.
If he's not broken, don't fix him. He's
I don't got to fix that guy. He does a good effort every time.
He turns into a boulder. What else do you need?
And if you don't like him, you can make him turn into somebody else.
Hey, turn into somebody else. Oh, I'm really.
Just imagine that as just like a magic spell, just like turn into somebody else, and you just become a random different person.
It's like the character creation randomizers that they have.
Like The Sims or something.
Oh my goodness! Can you imagine doing that on stage and you're just like flicking through like a ton of people? People just lose their mind. So, let's see. What do we have here? We got some more. Oh yeah, my main. Who is my main? I love King K. Rool. He's a really thick boy. Love it. Love the belly shield. Love the slam. Love the crown. Love the gun. Oh my goodness. Just everything. Everything about him. He's the trolliest little character in the world, and I'm so glad he was added. I also really like Sephiroth. As you guys saw, my original title for this video is Plant Gang, because I main Piranha Plant as well. He's really cheap. He shoots those spike balls right off the ledge. Prevents everyone from jumping back up. Love it. But yeah, Sephiroth is also cool. They just added him. I'm sort of working on him. We might have like some streams when I might stream more. I keep saying it, but I never do. But this is I really wanted to stream with Peter for this one. In the future, I might like play Super Smash Brothers with fans, and maybe they could win some merch or something like that if they beat me. I'm quite good, but I'm not tournament level or anything. So go easy on me if you are. So let's see here. What do we got? Who else?
Somebody mentioned antagony and animosity, and
yeah, we grew up with.
Yeah, shouts out to those bands. They were killing it back in the day.
And Peter, do you remember I Shot the Sheriff?
Yo, absolutely. I was my first favorite like local band. They were like
They were great local bands.
yeah, they were like a you know, first wave of deathcore band. I think they put out like one well, they had like a demo, and then they put out like five songs after that.
Yeah.
And they would just play all the local shows. I think they were from Fremont. And I was like 14, and I would go watch them every time I could, and I thought they were the coolest band like ever.
Same. Did we actually? Okay. Did you ever go to Lucky Pizza?
Yes,
Dublin.
yes. Lucky Pizza was the spot.
It was the spot. It was popping off, man. Like we actually, I would imagine that we actually were at the same shows at a certain point for sure.
Yeah, that must have happened. Yeah.
We were just destined to meet. It's crazy.
I guess so. But those shows were packed back then. Like those shows would be like wall to wall, just filled with people.
It was chaos. It was so chaos. Like the people were two-stepping, crowd surfing, like almost tackling the musicians and stuff because it was no stage. Yeah.
It was like that was like where my love of like heavy music was like solidified. You know, like I saw that and I was like, oh, there's nothing better than this.
Yeah, so it was such a good, positive community, especially for me. And you know, I had an older local band. It wasn't my band. I had joined it. It was called One Flew West, and it was with one of my best friends at the time, Jake. And we would be playing those shows, and it was such a positive thing. You know, they do the fingers because we were shredding, and you know, it was awesome. And then it started Rings of Saturn, and then just nonstop hate for years. It went from super positive to like absolute just negativity, and it kind of sucked, but now things are better. Much more happier times for us all, and I'm glad everybody is here listening to this stream right now. Let's give it a check. We have over 100 viewers. We've had over 100 viewers for almost the entire stream consistently. So thank you guys. Super awesome. Oh, we got someone coming in here with the emotes, the air fryer, and the Rings of Saturn logo. Thank you so much. Oh, and thank you, Brandon, for the subscription as well, using Prime. Thank you, Rings115, for the Tier 1 subscription. I super appreciate it. So what else do we have here? In Final Abhorrent Dream, there is a verse that sounds similar to the Iarda's murderous adversary. I'm not really sure what they're talking about. Do you know what they're talking about, Peter? Are they talking about like the vocals or something?
Oh, I'm gonna be real. I never listened to the Iarda's murder, so I have no idea.
For sure, I did, but I don't think that there was any like influence at the time. I think I listened to them much later, but there's just bound to be similarities in metal songs. I mean, there's only so much stuff you could do. So, you know, how many breakdowns are you gonna play, right? I don't know. Yeah. Probably the most. It's deathcore. Sorry. Sometimes I just listen to myself speak and I'm just like, I'm such an idiot. I don't know where I'm going with stuff.
You gotta keep the conversation flowing somehow, you know?
You gotta keep it flowing. Just flowing like a nice little waterfall of deathcore. Ooh, I love those breakdowns. So, what else we got going on here? Yeah, Lord Marco absolutely was amazing on the drums for the remake. It would have been cool to have him as well. Maybe we'll have him again for another stream or something if you guys want to talk to him. The reason why I just had Peter was actually because, you know, we had a lot more to talk about. We've had tours that we've been on. We recorded together 10 years ago, and I feel like you guys were really interested in him, but we'll get Marco in here if you guys want as well. So let's see. So Peter, what did you think? Here's a question. What did you think after you left the band? You like heard our next record and were you like, yeah, that sucks? Like, I could be better.
No. I kind of just like turned into like a college student and like didn't really pay attention to what was happening. I don't know if I'm gonna be completely real. I don't know if I ever listened to like any of the new stuff that ever came out after I left. and I just like I don't know. I was operating in a different world, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I went through like so many different like music interests and phases. Just like so, I just like completely dropped off of like listening to any of the stuff that I had been into before, and I even just like stopped listening to any metal at all for a while, and then kind of worked my way back to it eventually. But yeah, I had like pretty much no association with the band after I left. I think I saw y'all play one time, like pretty immediately after I had left, like 2012.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. From what I could tell, it seemed to go pretty well for y'all, which is really cool because now it gives us a chance to actually have people to talk to about something we did 10 years ago, due to the like insane popularity of the band. So yeah, I'm pretty thrilled for how it all turned out. I think Ian is a super amazing vocalist, and he's probably done better than anyone else could have done, right? So yeah, I don't know. All respect and love to the Rings. That's all I gotta say.
I feel that right here in my heart, Peter. Thank you so much. That's it was, I will say, it was like a really big struggle moving forward with Rings, finding a good vocalist, and also with Dingier, we had like the album leak and our van got totaled and all this stuff had happened, and it was tough, but it was definitely worth it to be where we are now, and especially because, like you said, because if the band didn't go well, we would have never been reunited, and it's so good to be able to hang out with you again and do special stuff like this for everybody. You know, the music video came out fantastic. The remake was, I don't know, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I think it's the best. So I think it's the best remake that was ever remade ever. So I'm very pleased.
I was really surprised at how well the old vocal files are sounding on it.
Yeah, they held up well.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, because just like thinking back to me being 16 years old, like, okay, I have to record on the weekend because I can't miss school or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Crunch time.
Yeah, and just like I never would have thought that it would be relevant, like 11 years later. Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe that. I can't believe they sound good, you know. I didn't think they sounded that good, but they do.
Hey, you know.
Not to, don't want to toot my own horn, but
hey,
they sound pretty good.
You know,
Sammy is
also
also a mixing wizard, so
yeah. Shouts out, like that. Great job with that. The remake.
The all around good tracks. The hands of the right person, you know.
Yeah. You what was I gonna say? Yeah, it was amazing. You recorded those vocals when you were 16, and 10 years later, still absolutely crushing. When you know what? Like, I will say this. When I went, because like I said, I was just a dumb kid who didn't know anything about recording. When I recorded the guitars, I used the original DIs that I got back from the studio, and shout out to John Lydon and Robert Swanson, who I worked with at two separate studios back then. I couldn't have done it without them, and huge thanks. So when I got these files back from both of the studios, I noticed that all of the guitars were just completely like off the grid. It's like very unedited. You could hear it. So I was thinking about actually just releasing the DIs to show everybody that all those articles that came out about me back in the day about Half Speed are complete BS, because it was real, because I was dumb. I didn't know how to record. Like, and online people are thinking I'm this evil mastermind genius tricking everybody, and it was just all BS, and it stuck with me ever since, and it just kind of sucks. So, you know, seeing those DIs, like when people tell you stuff over and over again, you actually start to believe it. It's like a psychological thing, and I'm like, oh, maybe I am a cheater. Oh my god. So like, I'm seeing these DIs, I was actually like, wow, I am pure. So that was great. I might release them just to really drive that home for everybody. But look at this question. Have you thought about covering more video game music like Final Fantasy VII? I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played it. I also have already done a cover of the Prelude intro. I think it's a beautiful intro. I absolutely love it. So if you check that out on my YouTube, you can. Are using, I don't know how to say this company's name. Mower GE300 in the
I just like saying moo.
Moo. Me too.
So it's mooer. Even if it's wrong, it's mooer to me.
For sure. Oh, what did you call Legator? Legator?
Legator. Want to walk around with my swamp gators, my guitar.
Shred with my gators. That's awesome.
Gator, yeah.
So yeah, I was using the Moore GE300 in the music video. It has a great intelligent harmonizer that they just added in a patch. I would say it's great. I'm gonna probably switch over to the Quad Cortex because I have a endorsement with Neural DSP. I'm just sort of waiting until that comes out. But their Neural DSP plugins are absolutely amazing. Yo Onaton uses them. Joel uses them. I use them. The guys over there are great. So huge shout out to them, and huge shout out to Legator. You know, they treat us so well. So if you guys want any guitars, get at them. Get at them.
Get your gators.
Get your gators while you can.
Round up your gators.
We're running out of gators. You got to get them soon.
They're hung.
Oh, they're hungry. They're hungry. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Do you guys have any questions in chat? Is any questions at all for us to start talking about? Because we've been streaming for about an hour now, and I'm not saying we're going to end soon because things are going great. You know, like you guys are sticking in there, over 100 viewers consistently. Oh, much love. But what questions do you guys have? And if Joel, if Peter, if you guys have, I
saw one in there. Someone asked what our favorite Rings of Saturn song is.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one. I don't know.
Okay.
My favorite song is "End of Humanity."
Oh, that's a classic.
I don't have. It's the shortest amount of rings I have to listen to. No,
yo, that was so good. I feel that, right? No.
Actually, recently, I don't really go back on the catalog too much and listen to the older Rings records, but I was listening to Dingier in the car the other day. It was just came on shuffle on my phone, and I actually really dig Objective to Harvest, like a lot more now. I was listening back to that song, was like, wow, like it just reminded me how many different unique like metal aspects you had, like the Meshuggah type of fast breakdown part at the end, and it had all these cool leads and different solos and everything. So yeah, I listened to Dingier recently, and there's still some cool gems on there for me.
Yeah, Objective to Harvest is a really good choice. I really like the contrast between melody and like scariness, you know, like spooky melodies going on in there. It goes from melodic to atonal or dissonant style of playing. And what is the outro like? Don't you do like a tapping thing in that outro? Yeah.
I did like this tapping run with this like really crazy. I don't even know what the name of the chord is. It's just a really weird chord I came up with, and I end up tapping a different chord shape on my right hand with it, and I just went really cool over that like chopped up breakdown rhythm at the end.
Yeah,
so
that was incredibly impressive writing on your part with that, and it was that was the first record that you wrote on, just for the chat, and wow. Maybe we'll do something special on Dingier's 10-year anniversary, but we still got like 2 or 3 years until that happens. I think it came out in 2013. It got leaked in 2012, but I'm not going to even count that because, you know, I want to put out a new album. New
Yeah,
album for you guys.
we gotta
concentrate on that.
spice it up with something new, and then maybe come back to the old again. I think that'd be cool.
We'll have every other year new old, because then Lugal Kien will come up with its 10-year. It'll just never end.
And then like 10 years from now, technology is going to be even sicker, and we make Jadim sound new again. just keep it going forever.
It's going to be augmented reality Jadim. You're going to wear your VR headset and you're going to be able to play the guitar. You look down at your hands and you're like, oh.
I like hearing y'all pronounce the names of all these albums, because I never knew how to pronounce any of them.
Hey, I
just see it like, get them. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I just remember. I just loved
Dinger.
Dinger. That's what it was. Oh, you guys gonna play anything from Dinger? I love Dinger.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Dingier, Lugal Kien or Lugal Cayenne, Altul, and Jadim. That is how it's spelled. I mean, pronounced. Like I said, can't spell, can't read. Never could. So what do we got?
Wait, I want to give a shout out to my favorite reason.
Oh yeah, I just realized.
It's Grinding of Internal Organs.
I like that one too.
I think it's just that's the best name.
Yeah.
Or at least of the ones that I was a part of, that's the one. Also, some of those like, I don't want to say secondary tracks, but like, less popular ones or whatever.
Like the B-sides.
Yeah, the B-sides. Some of those had like the coolest riffs on them. The coolest segments. Like the Grinding of Internal Organs, or
I really like
corpses thrown across the sky or whatever.
The Final Important Dream, like the kind of like hardcore 2-step part, and they had like the black metal
love that, yeah,
kind of parts in it.
Yeah,
that's something that stood out to me too on that record.
Yeah, people would actually just super hardcore 2-step during that part. They would get in it in the pit, and that was a lot of fun. I love Grinding for that ending breakdown with the harmonic, like da da dun da dun 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 dun, and it had the tapping. Oh my goodness! I went and I listened to that the other day, and obviously I heard it a lot because of the remake, but I was. I don't know, not to toot my own horn, of course. We don't like tutors around here. But that is what I like. But my favorite, I would say like one of my favorite Rings tracks is the instrumental from Jadim that we worked on, Joel. And I think we need to do a playthrough of that. People need to see these hot fingers, these hot shreds from both of them.
We don't live very far now, so we could, Joel, safely and socially responsibly contact each other and make a video.
Yes. We have, what is it? I live in Texas, and Joel lives...
New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay, gotcha. For whatever reason, I always think New Orleans is like in Florida, but it's like Orlando. Yeah, I get
that's Florida.
A lot. Yeah,
Louisiana.
It doesn't make any sense. Trust me. Like the way my brain works is an enigma. Trust me. It's I struggle with it all the time. So, Fox, thank you for subscribing. Tier 1, I appreciate it. What else do we have here? Somebody has a cover of Jadim, that instrumental.
I saw that.
That is
very good.
Whoever that guy is, you're incredible player. And it was actual. It didn't have the audio overdubbed. It was like actual like room audio or whatever that he was playing.
Yeah,
I was incredibly
You could actually
impressed.
hear it. I like when you can actually hear it over the original track. Well, it's like I watched that one. That was very, very good. Props to that dude.
Yeah. So someone's asking, would we ever do a full project together with Peter? Are we gonna start a side project, man? What's going on?
Only if it's old school death metal, pure early 90s.
No sweeps.
No, we could do some like Suffocation style breakdowns, but
could do like some death style guitar leads.
Yeah. all the classics.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I feel like that's what my vocal style is most suited towards. I'm down to make a ignorant slam band too.
Honestly, it's as far as like the way our schedule goes with no touring. I mean, we're just sitting around waiting for projects to do most of the time, so
literally we might
know.
shoot. Go ahead,
You
Bill.
never know what collaborations are going to happen or what just random fun content, is going to come out. So
Yeah, you never. I keep cutting you off. I'm so sorry. Finish.
Oh, I was done. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I have a
transition.
really bad habit about that. Yeah, you guys never know when our side project with Peter, Strapped to a Railroad, will come into existence. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'll only do it if that's what it's called.
I'll only help if we do a GoFundMe and it's like 300,000 for one song.
Okay. Oh man, can you imagine if we did do a GoFundMe and it was like a reasonable price and it actually got funded and we had to do Strapped to a Railroad? Oh man, that would be.
Didn't had to, got to.
Oh, I like that change.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege to do Strapped to a Railroad. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Somebody asked if I moved to California. I don't really understand the question. We're from California.
Yeah. Peter has always been in California.
I did live in Vancouver in Canada for a few years recently, but I've pretty much been in California for since I was like 7.
Yeah, and you're still there, right?
And I'm there right now. So
fair enough.
Maybe people don't know that the band started in the Bay Area, baby.
Oh yeah.
Shouts out Bay Area. Moved out of California. Yeah, I did move out of California for a few years to live in Vancouver to go to grad school, but now I'm back.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people also know that. I think you were born in Canada. Did I want to say?
Yeah.
And
born in Ottawa.
Polish. Yeah, you're a very interesting man.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, I was born in Ottawa. So, shouts out Ottawa. Actually, the only time I ever went back there after I moved away as a kid was when we were there on tour once in 2011 with that decapitated and decrepit birth. And,
so it was on tour.
Yeah. I almost had like a inclination to go find the old house I lived in. But that would have kind of derailed the whole day. So
yeah,
do it.
Makes sense.
Maybe one day I'll go back.
Maybe one day we'll all go back, and that's where we'll record. We got to get back to your roots, Peter.
Yeah.
Shouts out Ottawa.
I'll book a next day flight and spend any money it takes.
Absolutely.
Get right to. Yes.
Someone's asking if we will actually get a Lugalkian remake. I actually don't think so. I'm really a huge fan of how that record sounds. I don't think there's any reason to do it. But then Mike Caputo comes in here super hot and he says 10 years from now we're gonna get Embryonic Anomaly remake of the remake, and I think that's hilarious. So.
Still use the same DIs. Just keep reamping them with
DIs.
Just like futuristic gear, just bringing it up to speed.
And we'll do the same music video. It'll be the music video remake.
Just do it every 10 years until like you just have like gray hair and on a 70, walker.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be incredible. Let's see. What else do we got going on here?
Shouts out Marco.
Oh, is Little Marco in here?
Yeah. I met Marco for the first time when we did the video, and he's a pretty cool guy.
He's a great guy.
I like him a lot.
Me too. He's a stand-up individual. I respect him a lot, and he's amazing at drums too. So
yeah, but the drumming is just I can't even.
Just the cherry on top.
The amount of bands Lord Marco has played for, they could fill up a book.
It's infinite.
Yeah. Rapids, thank you for the subscription with Prime. I really appreciate it. I'm seeing so many familiar names from a long time ago when I used to stream, and I have to say thank you guys and welcome back. I'm glad that we could bring in Peter and Joel for this stream and really just get deep in there. Get deep in those crevices, you know, talk about everything that you guys want to hear about. So, you know, it's all for you. It's all for you. Let's see. They're saying they would like to see us collab with someone like Archspire. That would be cool. That'd be cool. They're cool bands.
You know what I remember about that band? I think they played. I think they were the opening band for the show that we played in Vancouver in 2011 on tour. Before they were like, before they were like huge themselves.
I remember. Yeah. I remember finding out about Archspire on the internet when they were putting out their first kind of guitar videos, and when I was younger, I'd always like be one of those subgenre nerds and be like, you know, technical death metal. And I started hearing rumblings of ultra tech like being named as a genre, and there's another band called like First Fragment, and then Archspire was part of that, and then now their whole thing that they've stuck with is the stay tech thing. See all the tattoos and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to promote tech awareness.
Yes, you got to bring that awareness.
Yeah,
keep it alive.
Somebody says, okay, go ahead, Peter.
Sorry, just Beneath the Massacre is coming up again, and somebody earlier asked if they were an influence, and for me at least, they were definitely an influence. I thought that band was super cool when I was younger.
Yeah. I remember them. I would say like Brain Drill and like a very like sort of underground band called Hiroshima Will Burn was like some sort of influence for me. I also, like in 2006, I liked The Cleansing by Suicide Silence and Whitechapel Records. You know, I really like the mix of like technical sort of like dissonant atonal harmonies and also breakdowns. So that's where it came from for me. There was one question. Oh yeah, someone's asking what happened to the collab about Rings of Saturn and Dan Watson. Dan Watson actually has guest vocals on Jadim, so it already happened. So you could go listen to him on our latest record, that fire mixtape that we dropped not too long ago. I wish we got to tour more for it. Joel, do you want to describe what happened when we had to leave? And we can't mention the name of the pandemic, by the way, guys, because that's
of course
a sensitive topic. But
yes, it's like saying Voldemort.
Yeah.
So you can't say that either.
You can't say that
man.
Either. Yeah.
I just got banned. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. It's almost been a year now since that day happened. Because that happened in March of 2020. It's February now, so yeah, almost a year. Pretty crazy. Basically, play a show, have a couple nice, relaxing drinks, and sit on the bus. And tour manager pops open my curtain, says we need to buy some flights. Good old Mr. President at the time has requested a travel ban and all this really fun, unique stuff that nobody's ever maneuvered through before. So yeah, it was very interesting to say the least, and I was very bummed out. I was thankful we got to do the majority of the Jadim Europe tour with all the bands we toured with, just great lineup of dudes and every member of each band, and it just sucked that we couldn't finish. Like, I think we had like 3 shows left until, you know, it was time for us to go home on our original flight. So this is kind of chaotic, but it could have been much worse. The big picture bummer of it all was not being able to promote Jadim on more of the tours that we had plans for throughout the year.
Yeah, we had a ton of tours, even in a lot of like new regions, new areas too that we had never been to before. We were thinking about going to Japan. We're thinking about going to Russia. We had a lot of places that we were scheduled to go to, and it just didn't happen. And we had to cancel the last 3 dates of the tour that we were on, buy all new flights straight out of the pocket. We didn't like really make anything on that tour. We didn't get refunded, and we had to leave all of our gear in Europe. It's still there to this day. All of the merch, all the guitars, some of the pedals. It was really a tragedy. And yeah, it was great too, because we're like, man, we were selling out shows. I think that show had like 5 or 6 sold out. That tour had 5 or 6 sold out shows, and Rings was on the upswing. We had a bandwagon, tour buses, and yeah, I can't wait to get back. I really can't wait, because I think it's going to be amazing. Yeah. But oh well. Now we're living a year later and it's still going on. So everyone hang in there. Hopefully it'll get back to normal soon. Just
keep watching your Netflix and use your vices responsibly.
And listen to tech.
Yeah. Just if you just stay tech the whole time, it'll be fine.
All you have to do really is just stay tech. That's how would we feel if aliens are actually kind of nice?
They are nice. I know they are. Kidding me? Look at humans. Look how unnice humans are.
This is true. What if we're the mean aliens? Yeah.
Dude. What if?
What if? Peter, are you a mean alien? Are you a pretty nice guy? What would you say?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm abstaining from an answer.
I think you're a nice guy. I'll answer for you. It's been really fun, like hanging out with you again and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Do you have any like more memories from us touring together that like I remember you talking to me about so many things that happened, like appropriate ones too. Do you remember any more stuff that we could talk about?
I remember one with Peter. Okay. That was the very first show of the tour, the Key Club, the Slaughter Survivors. Okay. And not like a packed show. So it was like a group of people in the front row. It was like kind of dense in the front row, but then the back was empty. And Peter jumped out the stage dive. It was the very first show of the tour. He just landed like smack on the floor, like total like. It like looked like a scene in a movie where they're filming a band, like where their singer like dies. Like,
oh no!
I actually don't remember that. That first show of that tour was probably the most nervous I've ever been for anything that's ever happened. So I think
it was intimidating to me too, because I was like, first show, first tour, like I'm in a man's world now. I'm an 18-year-old boy and new to the world.
It was I have like no memory of that show really, which is a bummer because apparently.
Well, you probably don't remember it because you smacked your head on it. I have a very good memory about just random things in the past. That's one thing I always remember. That it's just like, oh, this is how you kick off a tour, I guess.
That was always the thing I wanted to do. Was stage dive.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was the coolest thing ever when vocalists would do it. And I remember I got one successful one in like Sacramento on that same tour, which was great because that was like a childhood dream.
Milestone moment.
Successfully stage dive.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And like while performing. And,
and
people
have it go smooth. Hell yeah.
I'm so glad you didn't actually injure yourself on the first show. That would have been the quickest tour we would have ever played. That would have been it.
That would have killed the band. It would have been just that no one would ever book the band ever again. They dropped off after one show.
You're right.
Tour.
Yeah.
Oh man, that one decision. If it had gone bad, that would have been it. Wow.
That was our first first impression chance. You can only make a first impression once. So
Yeah, absolutely. Jeez. Someone's asking, do I have a neural DSP archetype coming out? I really hope so. I would love to work with neural DSP on an archetype. They just came out with the Gojira one, which I tried out, and it is absolutely amazing. So I don't think that they're going to be releasing more for a while, but that would be something to inquire about, if you will. The more support there is, the better. If you maybe go and comment and be all like, "Hey, Lucas Mann, archetype, please," I would love it. And yeah, it would be cool to throw in a lot of like spacey harmonies and effects in there and all that stuff for you guys, since Rings has like a really unique sound. But if it never happens, get the Gojira one. I'm partial to the Nameless suite as well. That one's really good. And the Quad Cortex, I'm so excited for.
I'm using the Pliny one on my recordings lately, but I've been hearing, isn't it the Gojira came out with a new one?
Yeah, that's the one.
I heard that one's killing it as well. I got to check that out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh yeah, another band, Peter, that like actually played at Lucky Pizza was the band Turok, that had to switch their name. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
And All Shall Perish did too, I think, a couple times. Because they were local to the Bay Area in Oakland.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. They were from the Bay.
We were like in a hot spot of like a lot of good local bands. And of course, All Shall Perish blew up, and they're amazing. I love All Shall Perish. So, yeah.
Yeah, that band. Turok, they turned into Destroy the Colossus, and
you're right. You're right. They just posted recently too.
I loved that band too. They were like one of my favorite local bands at the time when I was like, I think I was like 14 or something, and or maybe 15. I don't know. I bought one of their shirts, and it had swear words on it, and I wore it to school. And they made me change my shirt, but I thought it was like really, thought it was really cool for doing that, because it said the F word on it. So yeah, that's what I remember from that band. I still have the shirt too. So I don't know. Might have to bring it back.
Some people are asking, would Rings of Saturn ever do an online concert? It's maybe. I don't know. I won't rule it out, but it would be quite difficult because of latency issues and all this stuff. I mean, I did stream with Herman Lee, and we jammed together. We did solos together, and he played to Seized and Devoured and did some amazing improvisational guitar work. So it is possible. It is possible.
I think a big difficulty of that is just like the distance between some of us, and like you and Mike are like a 3-hour drive apart, but like Ian and I and everybody else, everyone's kind of spread out. So every time we would have to, I think the best way would be if we were all in the same room, just filming one thing. So
yeah, that would get rid of a lot of the latency issues, and then you could just do it from there. So yeah, that's actually a really good idea, Joel. We might do that, but I don't know. If it lasts for like another year, we might have to start doing that.
Like if we don't do any touring this year, then next year it's not looking good, we might have to. But our goal is to get back on stage and do it the right way.
The truest way.
This is the true way, yeah.
The truest way being half speed, right, guys? Haha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Ooh.
Ooh.
Right, oh. So let's see. What else do we got going on here? A lot of people want to hear about the pinky knife. A lot of people do. I might have to talk about the most conservative sort of like pinky knife story. It was basically this guy.
Was it in New York? The cops were looking for him?
The cops were looking for this guy, and he ran into the show. He got in like just to hide from the cops, and he had a pinky knife, and then apparently he was being very, very rude to this woman, and the woman punched him in the face and then he like sort of disappeared and got caught by the cops later. But I witnessed
remember
it from the merch
the
booth,
merch,
and it was like it was an absurd occurrence. Like everyone was like, who is this man? Why does he have a weapon? And why is he getting punched in the face by a woman? All very quickly. And why are the cops looking for him? There are so many mysteries that we'll never know. But yeah. So that's the story, guys.
That's life.
This was at one of your shows?
Yes.
I think it was one of the first tours. I don't know if you were there, Peter. You might have been. No, it was the first tour.
Really? I have no recollection of this at all.
It was in New York, in Amityville, I think. I remember, like, the merch guys of the other bands were kind of like, trying to intimidate this dude and get him to go away because he is being very rude to everybody. So,
yeah, super weird. But
I remember that venue, and I think we drove past the Amityville house,
Yeah.
The horror house.
The horror house. Oh, the horror.
Somebody's asking, will I be touring full time again when things get back to normal? I actually already have. I went to Australia and New Zealand, which was amazing. One of my favorite tours. And then I did a US tour and a European tour, and then we had to fly back with that, the pandemic happening and stuff like that. But yeah, of course, I'm back for good, baby. Touring full time whenever we can. So I love it, and it's good to see everybody, when I do. You guys have been very supportive and welcoming, since I took a couple of years off because I was assaulted, and it's good to see that. It really helped my mental health, and hopefully spread awareness to everyone else, that you really got to take care of yourself, and that's important. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Can we see a video of studio production walkthrough? That would be really fun. I teased about doing that when I did my response to Jared Dines like over a year ago, I think, and I still do plan on doing that. It's just it's kind of like a lot for me to set up, and I want to do it like maybe as I'm recording the new record, like the next record that Rings of Saturn does. I think that way people would be able to like, see exactly what's going on even before the record releases. How hype would that be? That would be super hype.
I think it'd be good to be like in depth, like, because we're not very like active about doing like studio updates while we're in the studio. I think in the past we've posted like teasers with like clips of like pre-pro songs before, but I think that'd be the best way to execute it. Like, I just give everyone inside look in the process of a whole record. Like,
yeah, it would be too hard to retroactively go back and like try and be like, oh yeah, this is how we produce stuff when it's already done. Like, as we're doing it is probably the best way. So let's see.
Someone's saying about they want to hear alien counter stories, but we talked about that earlier, and the stream will be on YouTube after this is done.
I'll be uploading this to YouTube.
Yeah, if you miss alien encounters, you can catch it again.
Yeah, we talked about flying washing machines. We talked about green blasts of light while we were on tour. That was Peter's encounter there. Will I ever do another solo project? We'll see. I've actually been kind of teaching myself to clean sing lately. So I might do something with that. It'll be very different. I've also been experimenting a lot with the synthesizers. I'll just not abbreviate it because I messed up my speech there. But a lot of synthesizer work. So electronic, clean sing. We'll see. I just want to do something different than metal, right? Because like if I make a side project and it's a metal project and it's just like not as good as Rings of Saturn, like what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So got to do something different. I
saw earlier someone was asking what our writing process looks like. I guess, do you want to go into that? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Actually, Peter, how did you and I write like Embryonic Anomaly as far as like the vocals go and stuff? Because I don't really remember this. How did we do it?
I don't really remember either, but I think it was kind of like I had concepts, ideas, or like already written lyrics or whatever, and I would come over to your house and be like, here's lyrics for this song.
Yeah.
And then I think we just would like work on the placements.
Yeah.
I think I wrote the lyrics and then we worked together on the placement.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And like,
yeah,
whether you would do like highs or lows or something like that.
Yeah, just like the finer details of how it was gonna actually go down.
Yeah.
The lyrics though are interesting because a lot of them were pretty corny.
You were 16.
From my end, yeah, I was like 16, so a lot of corny stuff in there, but some of them are actually really kind of cool. So
yeah,
like it's one of those things that I totally forgot about and like didn't look back at for years, and then only recently I've like looked back at some of the lyrics and then like, all right, this is okay. So it's like surprisingly like competent for a high school kid.
Yeah. So surprisingly, we did like really well. And especially you, like the lyrics are good, especially for that era. If you look at every other band's lyrics, it's all kind of like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, like everyone was a little sort of immature, right? They were all writing about like,
edgy stuff.
Yeah.
It was also like the theme wasn't something that I was like super passionate about. Like alien stuff was never really my thing.
Right.
So like when we decided that was the theme of the band,
yeah,
I had to kind of like evaluate how I was gonna write lyrics about that. And I think again, going back again to like that early '90s death metal, I think I took a lot of influence from those types of bands and like the like gore elements or whatever, and like the overall just like horror movie kind of vibe.
I almost get some with that stuff, kind of like Carcass type vibes, or
yeah, I loved Carcass. Carcass was one of my favorite bands, and they still are. They're like a fantastic band, and lyrically they were like really just like crazy and like evil and wretched and
shocking.
Like, this is like like especially like that like late '80s, early '90s Carcass, before they got more like melodic. And I loved all that, and I think that played a part. I also think using like a thesaurus helped to.
I think I remember us looking at a thesaurus. Like, what's a better word for this?
To spice things up and make the lyrics a little more interesting and find some funner words to use.
Yeah. Look, we got Mr. Tyler Stockwell in the chat room here.
Oh, a celebrity is in here now, boys.
Yeah. The real deal here.
Yeah, we love you, man. What was I gonna say about that? The reason why we did the Alien theme for Rings of Saturn was because at the time I was playing a game called Dead Space, and I love that franchise, by the way. And it's about alien, like horror, like gore and stuff like that. So it really fit with the death metal sort of theme. And then I was playing around with the harmony pedal, had a lot of like really unique, like alien sounding harmonies as well. And then we just came up with Rings of Saturn, as a name, and that like is kind of the most unmetal name possible, but it sounded cool, sounded neutral.
I hated it at first. I was so against it. I was like, no, we can't use that name. We can't do that.
Be strapped to
I hated it. But clearly I was wrong, because it has had a lasting value and a lasting
it's easy
impact.
It's very easy to just identify and remember, it's not like
that's why I didn't like it. I was like, this is too this is too easy, too simple. It's got to be
you like the underground stuff.
I thought I wanted it to be something like
something you have to Google search what it is.
But in retrospect, it was the right move.
Oh, speaking of Google searches, there's that band Viramia. That came
Oh,
out like
wow,
they
yeah.
were really good. They have that same sort of technical style that I really like. So shout outs to them.
That was one of the big influences for me too in that era.
Yeah,
That
were they
EP
around
that
when we
came out
were working?
Yeah.
On they were. Wow.
I think they had that EP that came out in like '08, I think, or something.
Yeah. I had the shirt that they made. I don't know if they did much besides they put out like the one thing, right? And then
They came back recently and put out a single. That was pretty cool to hear them again.
they were like they were pushing the boundaries of the like crazy tech death stuff back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great music. So sort of like to retroactively go back to that original question about how we write together. I'm glad you sort of remember better than me, Peter, about how we wrote together. But when we moved on to Dingier, we started using like Guitar Pro and sending the files back and forth because it would be like way too tedious to actually record them and send them the riff, and then they'd have to learn it by
as
ear.
demos.
It's just like, why not just
And
have the tabs ready, send them back and forth, and then there you go.
And then out of that sparked the debate of, are they just using Guitar Pro to make their music? No, Guitar Pro is just an excellent way to keep things organized and as a good reference when other members have to like learn the parts, or like if you're collabing on a song together, like you can kind of see what's going on. You can see how layers sound together, if they sound good or bad, or if things are out of key, you can pick it out a lot easier. So I think it's a great tool, and I don't think it should be demonized. I think it should be accepted by more people to just keep things organized and streamlined for getting the language across to the song you're trying to present to someone to work with.
Yeah, I think literally like every band uses Guitar Pro to write now, like at least the newer generations of bands, because it's just such a better writing tool. Like nobody actually like runs Guitar Pro through amp simulators. It would sound like absolute garbage. But yeah, when you have it as a writing tool, you could see if everything's in the key. You could send it back and forth and maybe be able to change notes really quickly, in phrases. Yeah. And it just makes sense. I mean, we live in 2021. Let's get with the times of how people write things.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's how it should have been in 2010 even. I mean, it's even beyond it now. It's like, come on, man. Like,
when I was
just writing with it. I think a lot of it is people that don't know how to use it are usually just like, oh, it's bull crap.
They're all just mad. They're all just mad. All of them. They're furious, and we're here to set the record straight. But no, I when writing Embryonic Anomaly, I didn't have Guitar Pro. Like I said, I was a dumb kid, and I was just actually sitting there with my guitar and writing these riffs. And I actually don't really do that too much anymore. I just sit at Guitar Pro and I like write the riffs. And I'm like, okay, can I play this? Yeah, this is dope. I could play this. This is cool. And I'm able to like really like push the boundaries of my own playing more so than I could just playing guitar. Because when I'm just playing guitar, it's like, Joel. Yeah. When I'm just playing guitar, I'm playing what I already can play rather than what I could like make up in my head, if that makes sense. So it helps push me to be better. I don't know what you're doing, Joel, but your window goes like really tiny all of a sudden. Like it's not now, but it went twice. So
interesting. Yeah. When I'm writing, I still write a lot of the core elements of a song on guitar, but I'll kind of go into Guitar Pro to add more details to it, like add in little runs and stuff in between where there's spaces in the riffs and stuff. But like overall, I just think it's a great thing that a lot more people shouldn't feel bad about using. It should be encouraged if they want to make more complicated but coherent, pieces of music. Yeah.
Well, it's like the same thing when there was the big debacle with it saying like drum triggers are cheating, and then people accepted that. They said Guitar Pro was cheating, and then people accepted that. They even said amp sims were cheating, and then now everyone's using amp sims. Before it was like, oh, you got to use a tube amp. It's got to be a tube amp, or else you're cheating.
I don't feel no warmth from this computer speaker. I don't know, buddy. I just really don't know about this.
These computers are making my riffs sound bad. I don't know. So you know, I don't know what goes through.
I'm pretty much one of those people.
It's okay.
I'm one of the like, I don't like computers. I want to hear it through an amp.
Yeah.
You just walk in the room with a huge Marshall amp, just break the computer, just slam it on top. There's an amp, buddy. Slap it real good.
You're doing it wrong. Don't try it through there. Yeah.
Try your D-Gen on this, buddy.
Yeah. Try your D-Gen on this. Oh man, that was good. Somebody says, have you ever been in a phase of total motivation loss? And if that's the case, how do you escape it? Wish I could answer that, because I've always been very motivated, you know, and if you do have motivation loss, just take a break. That's the most important thing to do, is take a break, and then when you come back to it, you'll actually feel maybe refreshed. You'll have some more inspiration going on in there to write something actually good. Because when you're not motivated, you often do not write good things. So just give yourself some time. You know, don't pressure yourself. You'll get back to it.
I feel like always going into it when you're in a good mindset will make good music just naturally come out. When you're like, if you're stressed out and you have to think too much about it and it feels like a chore, that doesn't feel fun and
you gotta
like exciting. If it feels like work, you shouldn't be working on it. Like, go play a video game, watch one of your favorite movies, like, until you do feel inspired to, you know, jump back on the saddle again and ride away.
Yeah.
Ride away how you want, you know?
Yeah. And if it's not fun, just quit guitar. Just quit. No, I'm just kidding.
Joel, I liked your advice. That was good advice.
Yes. I hope so.
Much love, much hearts all around.
Someone asks who my favorite vocalist is in the game right now. I don't know. I don't know anybody. What are my options? Are we talking?
Just say yourself. That's all you need.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's my answer. Sorry.
Wow.
That was pretty bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
We'll delete that later.
We'll get rid of it in post. That was you built it up, and then it just ended up being like anticlimactic.
It's like lighting a bomb and it just doesn't go off.
I thought I had. Yeah. I didn't have anything to say.
I mean,
at least you let them know that you're just what is it?
I'm
unique. You don't need influence. That's
I'm detached from the scene.
That's good because then you write more unique stuff, to be honest. Like the more people you listen to, the more you end up sounding like them. You know, you really got to get in there in the good old noggin, and like I said, get in there deep. You know, see what's going on in that brain, and you'll come up with some stuff that's completely outside of the box. Like when I was first like doing guitar, and you know, I would study a lot of music theory, and then I was all like, cool, I'm like a 17 or 18-year-old kid. I studied a lot of music theory, and there is absolutely no way I'm going to write something better than, you know, I don't know, the Black Dahlia Murder or something like that, because they've been doing it for years and years and years. So instead, I used that music theory knowledge to create my own sort of artificial scales, my own sound that was outside of the box, outside of keys, and really like found my own sound. So my advice to people is to just really like, if you want your band to go far, you need to like create something unique. You can't just learn music theory and stay inside the box and expect it's going to be better than like professionals. So yeah,
I think something that always helps me kind of write something that hasn't been heard is I always kind of like, when I approach metal, since I don't feel as drawn to metal music as of late, like I kind of just picture myself, I want to write what I feel like it's missing in metal, or what I would like to hear a metal band do.
Yes.
So
you basically mesh everything that you love together and create like, I don't know, like a new...
And I think it was cool when I first jumped onto the band and when we wrote our first music together, because you had your own style, like you said, with all the artificial scales and all the stuff you use, and then I came in with like a very similar style, but just like kind of more. I had more like kind of like a melodic kind of twist to it, like own kind of like scales and stuff I use, but I wasn't so inclined with theory. I was just kind of using my ear and just like you said, just like whatever. I would almost like by ear learn some of my favorite bands and stuff, like not totally correct, but then I would kind of add into my own style of picking out the stuff that I did like from those kind of happy mistakes of figuring out my favorite band sounds and then being like, oh, I like this arrangement of notes and these intervals that I can always go back to, or this style of, I guess template for putting a song together, just things like that. You kind of just figure it out as you go for yourself. You shouldn't have to restrict yourself with what other people kind of try to trap you in a box with their directions of how to write a song correctly.
Yeah. No, like your style when you tried out was so unique to me, and I really feel that it like meshes so well with my style, because it's truly just the two-handed tapping stuff you do is truly unique. I haven't seen a lot of guitarists do it in the way you do, where you do an arpeggio down here and you tap it up here, and it just our style just really meshed together so well, and I feel like every record that you're on, fans really enjoy because of it. I'm seeing Rowdy Chocolates say let's call them Ross chords instead of artificial. The reason why I use the term artificial is because it's technically the correct term to use as far as a music theory sense goes, but I'm all down for Ross chords. That's pretty good. I do want to say Alex Terrible, Mark Poita, Ben Dewar, they're all amazing vocalists. You guys are right. But so Peter, we talked about how we write and stuff, and how we sort of learned how to play guitar and stuff like that. How did you learn how to do your vocals? Did it just come naturally to you?
As far as I can remember, I was 14, and I really wanted to know how to pig squeal, because that was all the rage back then.
Yeah.
Because the Job for a Cowboy Doom EP was out, and
Ooh.
Everyone was all about that. The MySpace era. So I think I looked up like how to do metal vocals on the internet, and I just like read up on some stuff, and then just it was just like trial and error and like lots of practicing, and there was like a very it took a really long time to get it to actually sound good. Mm-hmm. Like at first it was like just awful, like really bad, but like I just kept trying it, and eventually it started to get better, and then it was like actually good, and I think a big part of that was also I would listen to bands that I really liked, or vocalists, or not isolated vocalists. I would listen to bands that I really liked, and try to emulate the vocalist. Like anytime I could like be alone and not disturb anyone by trying to do vocals, I'd like put on my favorite. You were talking about Black Dahlia Murder just now. That was one of my favorites back then.
Amazing.
So I would put on them and try to emulate Trevor from that band. Yeah. And just tons and tons of like trial and error practicing to bands that I liked, and eventually it just clicked.
Makes sense.
Lots of bad vocals at first, especially because I was like 14 and not really. It was just like a very undisciplined. I was just like trying things and seeing what worked.
That makes sense. I don't think anybody really starts off good at anything, particularly vocals. And like when I started guitar, I was like terrible, and I still am terrible at guitar. So it is what it is. But I'm really excited because I love the Black Dahlia Murder too, and that's going to be one of our first tours back. And I like the song. Is it called Miasma? The one's like da na na na.
Yeah.
The speed picking one. That is. Whew, I love it. So. Yeah, let me check out some of these questions. I think it's rolling up on 2 hours here, and in about 15 13 minutes, something like that. So we're calling for final questions, chat. Any final questions you have, get them out there now, because I'm not really sure when
last
we're going
call
to be streaming again. Last call.
I saw one directed to me asking if I like 100 Demons and No Zodiac, and to tell you the truth, I have never listened to either of those bands. So I don't know.
Well, maybe you'll check them out. Who knows? Who is my favorite guitarist? They say, I bet it's Joel. And yeah, it is Joel. Joel is my favorite guitarist. Second favorite guitarist is myself. I don't really listen to any other guitarist. No, I'm just kidding. I do like, when I was younger, I really liked Rusty Cooley, and it was an honor to have him on one of our tracks as a guest, and Lugal Kian, I want to believe. And yeah, he's a huge inspiration to me. I also liked Jeff Loomis. I always thought the guitars that he used were really, really cool. And I had gotten an endorsement to Schecter a long time ago, but now I'm, of course, with Legator, and I have my signature model, and it's in Guitar Centers, and that's a dream come true there in itself. So what else do we have here for these last questions? Oh, someone says that they can't wait to listen to the new Animation Sequence album. Do you have anything to say about that, Joel?
Yeah. There's going to be more announcements coming soon. I already announced the release for it. It's going to be in April. And Sammy and I and Mike are just going through the final deets of everything, all the final details with it. So be hearing some updates soon from that.
Nice. Let's see. How did Joel and we reunite to come back to the band? I don't know. I think you might be able to say that best, Joel.
Yeah. It was just kind of like I don't know, the right timing for things. It looked like, from my point of view, it was just a time where the band was shifting gears and everything was, moving around. And I was in a point in my life where I was just kind of I was just working a normal job, had no real obligations or anything. So, some time had passed, and the band was in a much different position than when I left. Everything, had nuclear blasts and like great, management team. Everything was just super set up, and I was very fortunate that the band, carried on and kept growing after I was gone. I was able to, come back into, a place where I feel very privileged and feel very grateful to be able to, carry on and help grow even further. So yeah, it's just like right timing. A lot of time passed between time I wasn't in the band, and it's better than ever since I've been back.
Yeah, and it's great to have you, man. And it's the fans are happy. The fans are happy about Peter too, as you could see by how interested they are in the stream. So. What other questions? Where did we find the alien for Abducted? Oh, he lives on Saturn. He made it especially here for this video, just to play the bass. He might be back for more videos. We'll see. He did actually play on stage for one show on Halloween, and that's where that whole thing started. So that's why we don't have a bassist. He just goes back to Saturn. He doesn't have time to tour. Did Mark Cooper do the OG art for Embryonic? That was actually Tony Cole. He did the original art and the original logo, and then Mark Cooper did every album after that for the art and layout. Both are incredible artists, and Mark Cooper, did a remake of the Embryonic Anomaly art as well, which I think turned out just perfect. I was floored when I saw it. Will Animation Sequence have vocals, Joel? Since it's like my project separate from Rings, I've been trying to keep it strictly instrumental, but my plan after the album is to post songs more frequently, maybe go to a singles only kind of like release schedule. And I was thinking of doing, if I were to do vocals with it, it wouldn't be a permanent thing, but I would be down to have like some friends in other bands that are vocalists, maybe do a guest spot and try to, do with them in that way. So it's not a permanent like thing that'll probably ever happen, but definitely for like guest features. Cool. Are we getting another live Twitch playthrough of another DS? I don't know. I don't know what DS really stands for. Maybe Dark Souls? Yeah, I'll probably play some more video games. Someone's saying you did a whole video of why you left and came back, or maybe they mistyped and you should.
I think maybe we did another Q&A type thing when we did it with Yo and everybody.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it is. Charles Caswell, an amazing guy. I have to shout out with him. I would love to collaborate with him again, and I probably will. He's an incredible guitarist, man. Let's see. What do we got here?
Favorite sci-fi books and movies? I'd say Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite. That's a good probably one. My favorite sci-fi movie of all time. I need to finish
watching the new one. Yeah,
the new one's great too. It's a great sequel. Yeah.
The storyline is basically just like Mega Man X, and I love those old school video games. You know, decommissioning the Maverick robots and stuff.
Oh yeah.
What conditioner do I use? I actually, this is an important question. I know you've all been dying to hear. I just wash my hair with Head and Shoulders, and then I actually use a leave-in conditioner of coconut oil and shea butter. I actually do things with my hair, surprisingly, and then I use wax for my beard. I use a little bit of that good old beeswax, I think. I'm not sure of the name, but it's keeps it nice and fresh for all the 90% of metal fans that are dudes out there, because the entire scene is basically guys. I do it for you guys. Yeah. Let's see. What made me shave my head for Dingier? I don't know. I got too warm. I needed to cool down. What's the favorite sci-fi book? Okay. Buttery Lucas. I would not. You don't want that. Any case, so guys, any we're getting down to like
we're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
The nitty gritty, the bottom of the barrel comments here. I'm looking for like something that would be good, and I just saw that. Oh no! All right, Peter, do you have any final thoughts? Any final words for us?
Someone asked about new metal bands that are cool. I'm gonna say listen to Stabbed, Defleshed by Reptiles. That's the release by Stabbed. That's a good one.
Okay.
And 200 Stab Wounds also. That's a sick new band.
Just a lot of stabs.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Huh?
What does the album art look like? Is the guy getting stabbed?
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually like not like, I don't know if I could put it on here.
It's just like a nice sunset and a mountain.
It's like really grotesque. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it'd be awesome to have it be called like Stabbed, but then have like a beautiful looking album art that doesn't look scary at all.
It's like a forest with little fairies and stuff.
Yeah. Stabbed.
Little leprechauns.
Cursive shiny lettering for the font.
Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, what else do we have here? Do we like manga or anime? Love it. I watch a lot of stuff. I'm currently keeping up with the Attack on Titan series every Sunday. Can't get enough. So let's see what else we have. Super Metroid, love Super Metroid as well. I'm actually playing a sort of a roguelike video game right now called A Robot Named Fight, and it's like a Super Metroid, like sort of Metroidvania, like for Castlevania sort of style, where every time you replay the game, it randomizes the entire game, all the bosses, all the items, all the map. It's really cool. I like that type of stuff, like Binding of Isaac, very random every single time you play. Keeps it new and fresh. How do I brief Mark Cooper on art? I kind of give him like what is going on like in my mind as far as like what the album's gonna sound like, what the album is about, what like sort of like the storyline is as far as the lyrical context, what like the Sumerian cuneiform would be, what it means, what colors I really want to use, because the colors are very important. You want your albums to be distinctual. If you notice, like Dingier is all blue and Lugolkian is more warm colors. People need to, if you put out like 10 blue albums, no one's gonna know which album is the best blue, right? So you have to keep it different. as far as the color scheme. And I also tell them, will it be a 2-panel? Will it be a 3-panel? I work really closely with a lot of people that design the shirts, because we use a ton of different artists for the shirt designs as well. I always brief them on like what I'm sort of thinking, what would be cool, what is interesting in pop culture, to get fans to really like, be interested in the designs and know that like, hey, I'm just a gamer too. I watch anime. I know all this stuff, and I love hanging out with you guys at shows and stuff. It's really cool to take pictures and sign stuff, and it's awesome seeing such support, and as far as people wearing the merch at shows, that's really, really cool. And glow in the dark stuff, woo, that's a good one. If you're in a band and you make glow in the dark merch, it's really good. People like that. So what else? Do we like the Doom franchise? Of course. I need to get into the Doom Eternal DLC that's came out recently. Do we like any non-metal artists? No, we're only metal. Only metal forever. That's what Peter would say. No, I'm just kidding, Peter. Do you like any non-metal artists, Peter?
That's probably my primary musical world that I'm into, but there's too much I could say about that, so I'm not gonna start. But
Joel and I really like video game music a lot.
I'm all about like the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack.
Same.
Certain Sonic games, Vector Man, stuff like that.
Yeah, I like Mega Man, Final Fantasy, beautiful stuff. Neo 2, yes, I played Neo 2, beat it. It's a great game. Haven't done the DLC. It looks fun. Any tricks or playing methods that you'd find absurd? Some people might find it absurd that you have to use a metronome. To get better. It blows people's minds that, that's how you build speed, but it is true. How long will Ross be a thing? I don't know. Until we get canceled tomorrow for this stream. I don't know. Let's see. Have any of you... I want to try and do it as long as possible. I really enjoy Rings of Saturn. That's a more serious, the appropriate response. Have you looked into microtonal music? Yeah. It's very, like, we're into harmonies, so how are you going to harmonize, like, a lot of the microtonal stuff? I'm not too interested. Did albums ship yet? The band actually doesn't really handle any of the orders online or shipping. You'd have to contact Indie Merch. They're pretty good at shipping, to be honest. They are shipping it, like, early, so people will get it on the release date, which is incredible. Berserk is a great anime. Let's see...
Are you investing in Dogecoin? I did for fun, and to the moon, man. That's all I gotta say.
The moon. Oh yeah, because it's Rings of Saturn. Hey Peter, I heard Elon Musk is one of your favorite individuals. He's been tweeting about. He's been tweeting about Bitcoin, Dogecoin. He's a memester, dude. He loves it. He's really cool.
I hate Elon Musk. That's all I can say. I absolutely despise that.
There you have it.
There you have it. Straight from Peter. Oh man, we're gonna do Strapped to a Railroad, and it's just the lyrics are gonna be about Elon Musk getting strapped to a railroad. Oh my goodness.
Elon Musk, if you're watching, square up. On fight.
I love Elon Musk. I think he's awesome, but yeah.
I want to.
Ooh.
It really rubs me the wrong way, that
guy. Something about him, huh? It's so funny because, like, he's going into space. He's going to Mars, and we're a space band, and you're just like, no, he's doing it wrong.
I can't expand.
Yeah, you'll get too passionate. I understand.
I gotta leave it where it's at.
Yeah.
You challenged him to the fight. We just got to wait for the reply. Do a pay-per-view boxing match like Logan Paul.
That would be hilarious to watch. You're gonna bring another pumpkin for sure. I bet.
Hit him with a pumpkin.
Do it. And out of nowhere, here comes the pumpkin. But yeah, I've seen this comment about Conker's Bad Fur Day so many times throughout. This is the 5th time I've seen it. I have the game on the original N64 hardware. I think it's funny. I hope you're happy with my response. I don't think it's like musically on like a complimentary level with technical death metal, but you know, good suggestion, I suppose. Let's see, best way to get a hold of us, direct messages on like Facebook Messenger. I really don't check my personal profile is synonymous with the Instagram Rings of Saturn profile. I'm the only one who runs it, so like you can message that, but like I don't really check the messages a lot. But if you contact me like on my personal Facebook, I'll most of the time be able to see it, unless it gets thrown into the shadow realm in the spam folder and never to be heard from again. But what about you guys? Any place where they could contact you?
Best way I can be contacted where I'll actually respond is if you comment just on any of my posts. I'm more receptive to that. I'm even bad about checking my messages of like my close friends sometimes, so messages get lost for me. So yeah, just comment on my posts, and I'll be more responsive on those.
What about you, Peter? People might want you to do some guest vocals. I'm not joking. I'm serious. Like they really like you.
You have to handwrite me a letter and send it in the mail. That's the only way it's going to work for me.
All right. What if they? What are those? Can someone jog my memory? What are those like telegrams where like someone would walk up and read it to you at your door? Does anyone know what that's called?
And they do like a song and dance and everything.
They do like a song and dance. Yeah. What would you do, Peter, if I paid Elon Musk to do one of those telegrams for you? He walked up and he said, "Hey, you know what? You have a guest opportunity." And it was, what'd you do?
He wears like a top hat, and he's wearing like a nice little like velvet red.
You see
like,
him pull
vest.
up in his Tesla, you know, and he gets out. And what'd you do, man? Would you be all like, oh, it would actually probably be interrupting you from watching the Joe Rogan podcast, which Elon Musk is on, you know.
I think Peter would probably just hit him.
All right, I'm sorry. That's the last time.
I got nothing to say. Okay. Also, I have never in my life seen any Joe Rogan anything.
Okay.
I don't think I fucked with that guy either.
Oh my God, that's
sorry,
funny. No, it's okay. It's okay. But
sorry, Twitch.
No, we're all good boys here. It's okay. Let's see. I re-downloaded Twitch just for this. That's awesome, Marco. It's good to see you. What do we have? We just crossed the 2-hour threshold. We have seen a lot of questions from everybody. It's been it's been absolutely wonderful having you, not only for the remake album music video, Peter, but actually your vocals on the whole remake album. And you know, of course, it's amazing having Joel back in the band doing all these tours. And our next record's going to be amazing, you know, to the moon, if you will. You could invest in it. But yeah.
The next album will be a cryptocurrency.
It'll just be a crypto, yeah. And the more you buy, the more you'll get to hear parts from the album. Oh my goodness, it's stonks, right? Genius. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys both again for taking the time out of your day to have this stream. And is there anything you guys want to say to the Rings fans before we end it? Before we go.
Love you.
Fair.
Thanks for helping me to revisit a really fun time in my life from way back in 2009, 2010, 2011. If anyone has been around since that time, the really early days, shouts out for the long-term love. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well said. Well said from both of you. All right, guys. The stream is ending right now. Goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.